Yeah, uh, I ain't got anything better to do today. But, you know, that goes with my earlier video. But, you know, I can't, I can explain things better, and I guess anybody can to a certain degree to their own family or significant other. And I'll go to my grave knowing that this one person that was supposed to be me and my wife's fix turned out to be our own problem. And she knows why it's different. She might not want to think it, but there is a difference. My wife was a little bit stubborn too, like I've said in multiple videos. But this woman, who I never laid my eyes on, never went to school with, never dealt with her, didn't know where she came from, whose ass she crawled out of, nothing else. I was just supposed to sit back here and say nothing and do nothing. That's exactly the two things. That's all I got out of it. I mean, that's just period. Oh yeah, that's just about the bottom line. I like this person's parents more than I liked her because I didn't have to scream. I didn't have to yell. They didn't talk about crack, pills, etc. Yeah, maybe they had a movie on TV. I could sit there and at peace, and we could sit there and talk. My wife knows what I'm talking about. I didn't have to yell. She didn't hear me yell one time. Those parents of that person were so nice, and went out there, and went to bat for me and my wife. Took us with them. We went places, but you know, I wish, like I told my wife earlier, I wish I could make it work. I apologize. I can't do everything that she thinks I can do. I'm only a human being. I've got certain things I wanted a certain way, and I wanted her to like a few of my things, and then my wife liked, but she didn't. She wanted to sit here and watch movies all day long, sit there and play tickle tank with her kids all the time. People like that, I can't help. She had them kids call me Uncle Rick, Uncle Eric, or whatever. I don't, like I said before, I don't own no rights to nobody's kids. I ain't trying to be mean, but I didn't do anything to have anybody's kids. You know, I didn't stick my thing in there and have kids of my own with nobody. I hate when people start throwing that mess around. I didn't have my name on anybody's paperwork. You know, this was a 30-year-old woman. She should have known better. You know, she went up there and she basically played a fool up there for my wife and everybody in it. And I did the only other thing I could do. I did listen. I don't care what my wife wants to tell people. I listen to her. What I don't like is when they backtalk me and they try to correct me when I'm the one right. That's when I get upset because I know right. I don't have to jump through a burning house or jump off a bridge or do one of them Jeff Hardy like dives off the thing just to hurt myself just so I know what I'm talking about. I don't have to be on drugs or drinking or doing pills. I ain't the one out here on Hawassi medicine. Out here, you know, friending everybody I come in contact with just because I want somebody else in my stuff, just to look at me. Like I told my wife earlier, I can look at these damn women on TV. She can do the same thing. I don't want to sit there and just look at somebody. I know you don't know me. I know you don't know my wife, but you're going. If somebody out there is ever going to get anywhere with me or my wife, there has to be something in common. And there's no opposites attract. There's no They can't be any of that. I watch movies too, but I ain't that crazy. My wife knows everything I'm telling you exactly what she's known for 11 years, coming up 11 years. And like I said, I would have wanted to believe everything my wife told me. But, you know, sometimes things come in our circle and like I said, I can name a whole bunch of others. But, you know, there's just no call for that. You know, what do I need to be in that for to I mean, yeah, would it be nice in some way to get out and get out of here? Yeah, you know, but nobody's just going to drop everything they've got for two people. Maybe this one came up through here, like I've mentioned. Maybe she tried to pull a stunt. But you know one thing I can tell you, I've taught that person no matter what she does for the rest of her life, she will never let no one else in her circle because if she's already got one, you need to stick with it. Me and my wife don't have nothing. There wasn't no secrets to hide here. I don't know. I guess my name was on somebody's list. I don't know. Maybe my wife imagined my name being on this, being able to do something for this person. I don't know. I can tell you, had things went the way I drew it up, and the way my mind was wanting to go, and the way I had it figured up, I would have done that and then some. I've been sweet to very few people, but I'm only one person. My wife's only one person. She got along with my wife a little more because my wife had some things in common on the Hawassi side of things. My wife and I had our things when she first came. Her people and my people don't get along. Me and her didn't always get along. And when I did the same thing I did to the crack whores, I call her old Susan. My wife bucked on me somewhat too. She kept out telling me, give him a chance, give him a chance, give him a chance. And so much more, was said. But, you know, I told her I'm getting these gut feelings, I'm getting these red flags. And, I'll put up with it for a good while. I gave them 3.5 years. I gave them multiple gatherings, multiple birthday parties. And it just, well, like I said, it didn't work. You know, my wife, had gotten into these things that, ultimately the Facebooks and all that, stuff don't work either. People is more worried about the money and the cards and playing the code games and all these other games now. I know there ain't no strip bars or clubs or anything, but I was just telling my wife, if you've been in Las Vegas somewhere and been in any other place, and had these places available to you where people like me and my wife could go. They would want to be fooled with. They'd want to be touched. They'd want to be hugged and kissed or whatever. They want to be doing things with. They want to be cuddled and watch movies with. This one she brought up here was nothing like that. And the reason why is because she made some bad choices in her life. So she felt like she needed to be a Maury or Steve Wilkos or one of them people. And no matter what I said, no matter what, my wife didn't have to say much. She basically just sat there and had to watch. But yeah, I was getting angry by the minute because I don't like repeating myself 10,000 times to somebody. Nobody. My dad didn't. Yeah, my dad got around a couple of people, but he didn't have a social circle out the yin yang. He kept it to work. Yeah, if his buddies or sometimes one of his buddies had some tickets, I remember one time he went to Britney Spears concert. They offered him. They said, "Hey, I will get you a ticket, And if you want to go, she was in Atlanta, Georgia, I remember. My dad didn't go around to all these women, and yeah, he didn't mistreat them. I try not to mistreat women either, but I can't be myself. I can't have any peace. I can't, as much as I want me and my wife to be happy with a certain person and whatnot. Like I said, I don't have their mind. I don't know what they'll do. I don't know what they'll do in front of her and what they'll do in front of me. I'm out a couple times in a year, just like my wife is. She's out a little more than me because she does my errands and and tries to get things done quicker. And then because there's certain things that just ain't going our way. So again, there's a few times where they've been a couple times. Somebody comes out of the woods just because they see a few cars sitting somewhere or at one of these places out here near town. I can't help it. They won't come out when my wife's out there. And I can give you a chance. They're doing a lot of them. I've very few times I've seen something or heard of something. I'm normally sitting behind a phone or something, or they're usually behind some kind of thing. They already got this going on. I did a little over a year ago. I thought this would be, at first glance and first thing. I want to make sure I say some good things, because I don't want to make it, oh, well, so I'm not. But yeah, first glance, if things had stayed the way they were, had she kept smiling, had the person did what she knows she should do. I mean, it's not to say, like I said, everybody has a moment or two. But I just didn't feel like I could be myself, like I can be with my wife. There's a huge difference. I can't just go touching other women. I can't go and hug them. I can't kiss them. I can't do anything for them. I can't even talk to them. Take that other stuff out for a minute. I can't even talk to them. I can't have a civil conversation like I can with my wife here at the house. So anything I say, it is beyond my control. I can't. You can take it for what you will. You can take it or you can leave it. If you want to leave it, I can just give you the old swift boot out the door again. But that's the thing. And everybody's got troubles. I was lucky. I didn't have what half of my stuff was for my wife. My wife, she had a few things go on in her life. I understand her better than I do anybody she brings in here. It's because of that mindset they got. They got their own problems. They want to be. They say one thing and they won't help, and they want to feel like they're a part of something, but yet they make me feel like the worst piece of shit I've ever laid my eyes on, kind of thing. Because they don't know how. They don't know how to have fun. They don't know how to apparently be able to, put a smile on somebody's face. I mean, most time when I get in front of somebody that looks, like somebody off one of the TV or something, you have a gleam, you have a smile, you feel good for a minute. And you just feel like heaven on earth. But these same kind of people can also tell you anything. Oh, I'm married, I'm taken, or oh, I've done this, or I've done that, and there you go. Then you have to start stressing out. I told my wife earlier, I said, if I don't need a stroke or a heart attack over this stuff, if there's somebody out there, they'll fucking come out here. If there's somebody out here in these videos or something else, yeah, I know my wife can't go to the house deal and all that, but I was just telling her that that's about the only thing left that Farrah could do if he could do it. because unless you know what's behind door 1 and door 100 or whatever, I don't know how you're ever going to find it, because half these people don't get out. Half these people wait till there's a church full of cars. Oh, they'll come out then. Oh, they've been times where, I've sat down and been very few times, not many, but a time or two where I've sat down and somebody's hollered at me, just like Hazel has, our neighbor, and all that. But, and I only get out when I can and when I have to. And, somebody had to be taking an awful lot of responsibility and chance on me and my wife. If they had absolutely no other things to talk about in the way the crack whore, as I dubbed her, the crack whore, if the feller didn't have that to have to hear, and he could hear mostly good things, if there was a few little ups and downs and a couple of bad things, as long as it wasn't a repeat 10,000 times over, you'd be just fine. Any woman out here that's like, the one I'm describing, that how we got done not so long ago, I can't handle you. I'm sorry. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you came from. Those I just cannot do. And unfortunately, my wife, they'll kind of talk to her a little bit more, and they'll kind of do one thing or the other for her, because she sits there and maybe something like her might like to talk about this 10,000 times, but there ain't nothing you can do. Maybe they feel comfortable like that, and I don't know. But because I don't jump through the same hurdles, I'm different from them, and I can't. And that's what I'm telling her. I can't help. They come in here. They come in here, but I can't guarantee them. I can't guarantee them any success. It ain't my fault that I live the way I live, and I expect things a certain way. But I can't sit here and say, oh, I've got you a present, I've got this, or I got that, because there ain't nothing to get. It's nothing to get. And
we have a bring and we do have
like I said, I've got stuff here, but I can't guarantee it to no woman, because y'all don't know how to behave. My wife, she's different. But I don't mind, as I've stated before, I don't mind to talk about certain things that you've been through. But you can't keep interrupting me and back talking. That's what got the crack whore in trouble with me. She even admitted to me almost a half hour later. It felt like a half hour. It might have been a few minutes less. She even got up off her lazy ass and admitted to me. And I remember it's like it was yesterday. You're right, Derek. Well, my wife didn't argue with me, right? She sat there and watched all this whole thing go down. And I can't understand why somebody's got to play one side and then play another. I can't understand that. Why you would backtrack and say, oh, yes, Derek, you're right. Just go with the flow and everything would be just fine, people. Anybody out there? Nobody's going to go through the same hoops. Nobody's going to go through the same things as everybody else does. Everybody's just different. Everybody's past different. And just because I haven't jumped through those hoops, maybe there's some hoops my wife ain't been through. But, you don't hold them against us. All you got to do is accept what's happened to you and go on. If you want to talk about it, and just so we know what's going on and how to kind of, you know, get to know you a little bit, some personal stuff. Okay, I'm on board 100%. I'm okay with that. But my dad didn't beat people up over it 100 times. If somebody told him something, if he had something to say, he wanted to talk about it and move on. You know, he was a nice guy. He raised his kids up good, and it's more than I can say for some. I mean, there's some out there that they can be just the devil. But I was just lucky. Like I said, any kids out there could go through a lot worse than anything I've been through. I ain't been through much. I almost died on the table when I was 2 years old. So I think there's something to be said for that. And like I said, if they hadn't got me to the hospital when they did, and I had that seizure and all that stuff, I might not be right here right now. There's a good chance I wouldn't be here. I've been in the surgery room twice. Had my knees worked on. But I ain't out there doing drugs. I ain't out there to do pills and doing and play monkey see monkey do. Like crack whore did. Like everybody else does. I don't, it's not the Hawassi medicine I'm talking about. She came in here and told me all this stuff about her getting out there with these bad people on purpose. Got there wanting to do the crack and all the stuff. And I've been through that. I've been raped. I've been blah, 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 and everything else. Like I said, I'd be here all night. That stuff is where the TV talk shows come in. I'm not here for that. I want me and my wife to have something better than that. I want to have a good time. I want my wife to enjoy herself, feel like she can be somebody.
Oh, no.
And I understand it. I understand where she comes from, but I didn't know that was going to be something that was going to have to be the talk of the town. I didn't know she was like the way she was. Had I known that, had I been warned, had my wife been warned, I know my wife would have told me. We didn't know. My wife didn't spend that much time talking to her. She didn't really think about it. She was in a, well, not good enough. And anyway, because like I said, I wanted something easy, something, where we can all get along. I mean, for all I know, I don't, like I said, there's not a lot of things I like, but my wife likes a lot of the same things I do. But, and I'm probably gonna, one of these days I kick the bucket. I'm probably gonna have, there'll be people, my wife will look back at probably something like this. And, Derek, if he just sat there and handcuffed himself and didn't speak, I'd still had this crack whore at my ass. Well, I can't help it. I'm only just saying. I beat myself up with it already. I know if I didn't speak and I didn't say nothing, I don't know what we'd have got. And as far as I can see, the person didn't give me much hope. No car, no money, no job, nothing. And again, it's not usually about what you got or don't got, but when you got two kids also on top of that makes everybody miserable. It makes the kids miserable. That makes me miserable. It makes my wife miserable. Me and her sit up here night and day, puts up with this. Same scenario we've been in for a long time. And like I said, if it was just somebody raised up a little differently, or maybe not even that, but just wanted to have some fun, wanted to have, a good time. I mean, we could always talk about bad things eventually, and that's going to come up. But come out with it straight up right after you wake up out of your deep sleep type thing. And first thing you do is start tearing up Jack looking for stuff in the house. These kind of things happen to me up here. And I like to never. I didn't think I was ever going to get through to her, but I can my wife. But again, I said, look, it'll pop up when you ain't looking for it. And sure enough, it did. And I got to the point where it did. It got on my nerves. Is like, it seemed like one thing. Oh, this is missing. I'm gonna blame this on these people up there. Well, pick your friends better, bitch. Pick your friends better. Don't take and use them for pills. That's life lesson. That's all they were using you for. If they'd come out there and wanted that, if they wanted to charge you money, you wouldn't have had it. Because all you had was food stamps to your name. And I'll tell you this, anybody else who acts like this woman, who does like this woman does, and just wants you to sit there and look at them from afar, I'm just warning everybody out here, do not let them fool me again, because Lord help me, I won't let that happen to myself again. Hopefully it don't happen to my wife again. But anybody out here, stay clear. Anybody like that. I don't care if they're in apartments. I don't care if they, like I told my wife, I've seen a homeless person one time in my lifetime. And there used to be one that my grandmother helped. I know what a homeless person looks like. But this person wasn't homeless. This person was just useless. Her brain was mush. And I ain't the smartest person in the world, but this person might as well not even been created. So they really don't have anything to help you, to help anything. This person could have landed up at anybody's door. I wished I had pictures and shit. I'd show them out here. This was the most miserable thing I ever seen in my life. Nothing I could do, nothing I could say, nothing my wife could really do or say could do anything, do any good. No matter if you want to flip it around and say, well, yeah, my wife said she could talk to her better because she was going through those things. Well, and that's part of it. I mean, she got that much, but did it lead to her shutting up about it? No. And that's where, we seem like when we wanted to go a step or two forward, we was always going 3 or 4 back. Because, and that 1 or 2 times, a couple of times, yeah, a person like this will come up and they'll give you a hug. They'll and all this, and you think everything's solved. You'll think everything's fine. And, I mean, we've been through it, so I know, and I can't help everybody. I can't. My wife can't either, and no matter what we want to do. And I'm like her. I want out of here too, but everything's got to be right, and everything's got to fit. I don't know if anybody else out here can fit, because I'm going to be a hard nut to crack. I'm not that hard to get along with, but I'm a hard nut to crack when you push me to my limits on stuff that I brought up in this video. The less of that I have to deal with, the easier it'll be to make me smile, make me feel good, my wife feel good, and the whole 9 yards. And like I said, this was all one of them big mistakes that some people in their lifetime may have saw somebody like this. And maybe somebody out there can relate. You know, and I'm sure they are. But it's gotten to the point where I just cannot believe just anything that's said to me behind closed doors. 'Cause I don't know whether or not they just pull the wool over my eyes or my wife's eyes or what. But if they didn't have nothing, and it's like, the parents were gone and wasn't no kids around, and kind of like the ones we met off the line, off the Facebook. Yeah, I could deal with that a lot easier if had everything went the way I hoped, because there wasn't none of that. Nobody was talking about drugs or alcohol or nothing hard. I mean, you can turn on some music, make me smile. I couldn't do that for a crack whore. I couldn't turn on just uh, my wife likes Lifetime. I don't even think she liked that. I tolerate it. I put up with it. My wife, I'll watch it. And if she knows it all the time, she knows if something isn't, if it's too violent or whatever. That's one thing. She'll turn it off. She thought she always had to watch that. And I told her one night she come in here, and I don't remember. It's been a long time ago. But I told her, I sit her down here and said, if it's too violent, just turn it off. And I sat there and watched that crap. I said, where did this come from anyway? Oh, my mom got me into them kind of movies. And I said, I ain't so surprised. Because they doing exactly what the crack whore does. But she's argue, fuss, and fight with me over stuff I'm right about. And that's what makes me mad. It's what makes me angry. I ain't the sexiest man in the world out there. My wife ain't the sexiest woman out there. But look, you don't get opportunities like this every day. And like I said earlier, anybody who's ever had a good experience with me, I hope you got something out of it. If you've had a bad experience from me, I hope you even got more. Because I hope that you learn not to do what you done to me. I hope that I taught you, if you've got a circle, if you've got pill friends, you've got, these kind of problems, keep them out of people's hair like mine. Don't put people in your circle that you don't absolutely have no feelings for, that you don't have no connection for, that you don't want to even do anything for, at all, period. Because, like I said, my wife, I said, well, Derek, it takes her a while. It takes me about 2 hours or less to tell my life story and my wife. My wife can do the same. You don't have to beat us up 10,000 times over the same garbage. What's in the past needs to stay in the past. You need to move on. If you can't move on, then you're not going to work. Yeah, me and my wife, like I said, we've had this thing for a while. And my wife brought it up earlier. Yeah, and we've put this out here many times. Me and my wife went out of our way to buy something like this. This was a little after the crack whore left. We've got some stuff over here we bought. Some nail polish and all kinds of stuff and different things. For that special young lady, if you're to be out there in your 20s and 30s, I don't know, slim to average body type, something. And I've addressed, like I said, I get everything else. The other day I brought up Roxanne, or had an old video I brought up Roxanne Kason in a video. I was reliving my old school memories. What I get? Some jackass claiming to be her brother. I get a nasty comment out here on one of my videos. Because, yeah, me and my wife's looking for another lady to join us. And I offered that person because that's the only one I kind of knew a little bit about. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I get attacked on that end. Then I've had times where my wife will tell me, like I said earlier, there's somebody out here holding my hand, Derek, or there's been somebody out here fussing and fighting, and these women come out their door, telling me all about that mess. And my wife had to get to where we shut them down. My wife's had people, as I said earlier, we had them where she's getting rights from these youngins out of here. It don't matter what color you are, like I said, but they give a number to her. However, coming in here smiling and Derek thing found something. So, and I'll listen to her, listen to my wife and all that stuff. If you go and call or text these people or ask them to come over, they won't do a damn thing. They won't get out of their car. It ain't about pulling you by your leg and making you come up here. But y'all start that getting a little too personal mess, and that's why we had to shut it down. So, if it's going to be something out there, then just be you. Like you do to your mom and daddy. You don't beat them up. Is that so much to ask for? Is it too much to ask for something the opposite of drama? I mean, can't we all just have something where we're like 80-20, 90-10 or something, in a good mood for over half of the time? Like I said, 10 or 20% of the time I can put up with. But there cannot be, this world can't get any worse as it already is anyway. So, yeah, our offer probably shot unless they're just so easy to get along with, unless they're easy to do things with. If you want to, like I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to hug them, kiss them, or cuddle with them, or all that thing, and you want to do something like that, you want to give them a massage. My wife likes my massages. She likes me to rub her head. I can do those things with my wife if I know she likes it. But I can't do that with a strange person. I can't. I don't care what you look like. White, black, purple, green, whatever. Tall, skinny, whatever. I can't. Average, whatever you look like. I can't guarantee it. And that's just a story. That's why my wife plays with her dogs. That's why my wife goes on her walks. I don't know where she goes to, but she goes out there, goes for a walk. Might be around the church block. It might be somewhere else. But she comes home and she tells me like she did today, man, it sucks having to do this and having to sit here. Well, yeah. I can't take anybody serious off the internet. And certainly out here as of right now, can't take anybody serious that comes up to the door. And now, since a little over a year ago, since the old crack horse Susan left, we can't win. We can't get anybody to just get out their car for 5 minutes. It's not like we're asking for a lot. I said, my God, 5 or 10 minutes would be a step in the right direction. But they always have something already cooking. Well, Derek, that's life. Yeah. Well, there ought to be a few of us still out there left that can make time. If you're gonna go in a little bit, you ought to finish. You ought to be able to finish what you start, or you shouldn't start it at all. I wanted to go all the way, as I always do, but I feel like I have to be someone else, and I can't be that someone else. I can't change me. just like I can't change everybody else. But my wife and I had our times where things were a little tough to explain, but it got easier over time. You know, but to a other person, I don't have that kind of time because they won't understand my voice like my wife would. My wife's been around me longer than almost anybody in my lifetime, with the exception of my immediate family. There ain't no other person she's brought around that's ever seen me. They ain't never seen me, enough to know what she knows. That's going to be the difference every time. Because whether you've seen me with my clothes on, clothes off, half on, half off, whatever, it doesn't matter. What matters is stuff on the inside. And you can't judge somebody, and you can't judge a book by its cover, only speaking to them one time, sparingly on the internet, or a couple times on the internet and a couple times in person, or 5 minutes in person. You've got to know what you're dealing with. That's why that crack whore didn't work. That's why people like her won't never work, because you can't go by what they tell you in the first 5 minutes. Yes, there's parts of me that were happy. At first glance at stuff like that, I get happy and I smile, or I want to see me and my wife happy. But as I've stated, I just can't make if I can't see a path, if I can't see a way to get in there and do like I've done with my wife, if I can't get in there and get inside your heart and make you feel happy, I'm not going to get any prettier. I may keep getting a little uglier every now and then, but I ain't going to get any prettier. What you see, what you get. I mean, I don't know how else to put this out there. I mean, you can be handicapped. You can be somebody with a car. You can be somebody without a car. You can be somebody without a job like me and my wife ain't got one. You can be a person with little money, some money, a lot of money. It don't matter. But the thing is, I can't guarantee you I'm going to like your friends. My wife can't guarantee you that. So if you're out there and you got a big circle and you're a big blabbermouth, that ain't going to work neither. Because if you blab to them, oh, I'm happy, I want you to talk and text them and come meet them, don't force them. If you got that circle and you know that circle, I'll let you go out there and do whatever you want to do. Just like when the crack whore came up here, Susan, she's like, well, you got to let me do this. You got to let me do that. Well, I have. I sent you packing, didn't I? And I also didn't ask her to bring that up. That sounded like that was bossing to me. Now, I didn't ask for her to say stuff like that. That's what was said in front of me. She just, like I said, she just wanted me to sit there and look at her. I don't know why. Like I said, I had no papers on this person. I had no rights to see her. I had no rights to her life. I don't know anything. Why she made the choices she made, just like I don't know why anybody makes the choices they make. I don't know why some of the choices I've made or my wife makes. I don't know, but me and my wife can deal with it. And I hope that this helps somewhat. Is it going to carry everybody? No. But maybe a few people. Maybe me and my wife, is all that matters. I know she's hurt. I'm hurt about the whole thing. I wanted to get us out and everything, but I couldn't find my way inside. And I couldn't find the heart. The heart that she had beating in her and pumping all that blood and everything else in there must not have been doing too good. She never seemed happy. She never seemed smiley. She never like I said, with the exception of her playing with her little kids, and she went out there and got her pussy stuck twice and had 2 kids. That's all things she cared about. And she has her rights to do that. But again, she can't show an adult a good time. She can't be happy to want to make them happy. I didn't go out there and tell her to have my wife bring her up here, set her up in no way to set her, because I didn't know this person. My wife just blindly went up through there to that friend's house that she used to know, friend's apartment, and this damn woman was sitting in there, I guess going through her emotions. And I don't know, but I didn't set this person up. I didn't make her come down here. I said she could come down here. I just thought it was a nice, neat little deal at the time. I thought anyway. So I didn't get no warning from my wife. I didn't get no bad signals before she showed up and came in here, slept for 2 days. On the 3rd day, I gave her the option. I said, hey, if you want to leave, you can leave. And she didn't take it. She said, because I told her I didn't want to just sit and watch her sleep all the time. And by day 3 and 4 and 5 and so on, we got to knowing more. We got to know that there was kids involved, which like I said, first 2 days I didn't know anything about it. And then all things she wanted to go do with her brother is go up there and have him make some cigarettes. She's also a smoker a little bit. She wanted to go with the time we went over to Big Lots. She wanted her dad to take her over at the damn fucking other lady's house just for some goddamn pills. Like I said, these and the friends that she has up here had up here, I guess they learned their lesson too. I guess some of them. I told them in letters. I wrote them letters. I wrote, my wife knows I don't write many letters, but I wrote front and back 3 or 4 or 5 pages, whatever it was. I wrote to everybody up there. I didn't mean no harm. But when somebody said they wanted help, I told them what I'd tell any other person's kids. I'd raise them the way me and my dad raised. My dad raised me. If I'm not, and not everybody's legally going to be on a piece of paper, but if I felt like I was uncle or whatever I'm supposed to be, and that's what you want me to be, like I told my wife the other night on the video, if they allow me to be a part of that person, whether they have a dad coming around or not, if a person had kids, all I say to that is the better the kids are and the more well behaved they are, the easier it will be for all of us to get along. I mean, there's times to play outside and yell, scream and holler and go on and all that and get dirty. When you're in the house, it's just simple for me to basically, settle down, watch TV, do things, play games or something, do something. It's not that I'm not saying I hadn't run a time or two. I paid my price when I did that. But I learned to not keep going and doing it over and over and over. And, I can't help if you're a mom out there and you ain't letting your kids see their daddy. I'm not a daddy to nobody's kids. I don't have no rights. I want my wife to hear this good. I don't have no rights to nobody's kids. I don't have no rights to no woman. I don't care if my wife wanted me to have that Susan one or not. She told whatever she told my wife, and I leave it at that. I don't know, so I wasn't there. I was down here minding my own bizwags down here at the park. And I was just going by what I was told. So I did what any other person would do, because at the time we had been over Kerry Walker enough try to have somebody. This is the first time we ever had somebody really other than Felicia come down here, but she had somebody. She had one of them boneheads up there I used to go to school with. But, I thought at the time, I was a little hesitant as I can recall, but I said, okay, well, what the heck, this don't happen every day. And as my wife knows, this don't happen every day. So just because she might want me to have a good time and maybe me and her both to have a good time with somebody, it's not up to me. It's not up to my wife. It's up to them. I don't own anybody. I don't have any rights to anybody. If I did, they wouldn't need to be any papers. But I almost feel like I have to have. And I said this last night in the video. I said, my God, it looks like I might have to start writing out one of Vince McMahon, one of WWE's contracts and going over everything and have them sign it. So whatever's on there, if you don't sign it, it means it's not your stuff. It's not you're not into it. Because my wife and I just we're handicapped. We've got enough things to go on as it is. And to my knowledge, and everything, I've never went out of my way to be anywhere, anything, out of the ordinary and offer anybody anything that I couldn't offer. To my knowledge, I've always, kept my mind on what I was doing. If I'm in the store, if somebody says hello or hi or whatever, I'll do that out of courtesy. I go through a grocery store line, or I'll talk to my dentist when I go in there and talk to them a little bit. They don't tell me about drama. They talk about sports. They talk about music. They talk about their day. They don't talk about crack horse stuff. It just don't make my mind feel at ease. It don't make my mind feel any better to hear it. And much less do I want to do it. So, I'm just trying to come out here and kind of put some stuff out there. Maybe this will help a few people. Maybe somebody can say, hey, I can beat this. I can beat that. Like I said, me and my wife, we've got many of things. And Instagram and Gmail and all that sort of stuff. I come out here and put things out. I put the ring out there earlier, showed you what my wife's talking about. But we got a lot of stuff in the bag. If there's a lady out here that is actually, wants this. And if you want it, of course, we'll do what we promised, and it won't be any issues or problems to have to worry about or come up with, or, because you'll be you. I know if you're out there, church or not, job or not, car or not, money or not, whatever, we don't, doors open. Now, if you don't have any of that stuff, of course, there's stuff we can do. But, that we can even look for another apartment if we had to. Because we can't just move anybody in here. But, yeah, that's why I told my wife earlier, I made a video this morning. I said, the next time one of them people comes out of there, if you see something, go get it. If it's out there at the church or somewhere, they a lot of times people won't come out, because they might be afraid, or something. And that's what my wife tried to explain, and I know that I've known that for a long time with people. I was just used to how I met people. Was I got to know them inside and out off the internet. I used to be able to do that. Not now, but used to. And then we would go from talking on that to talking on the phone if we text on the phone for a little while. Then we would move it up to talking on the phone, dialing each other's number, them dialing my number, whatever it was at the time. Same thing with Crack Horse. She could have had it. People like her could have this stuff, but they always say something or do something that changes path. Changes the way I'd like to see things go. My wife would like things to go. I can't do it if they won't allow me. I can be the nicest of people to a person, to this certain person. If you're out there, and if you want to be, loved and cared for, and just made to smile, we can do that. It wouldn't be that hard. But my wife or I don't own anybody. We don't have any papers on anybody. I'm not going to these damn places and going to these, what you want to call them, adoption places, and paying all that bunch of money. I mean, if you want to be in our circle and in our what family you see right here, then okay. And like I said, we'll do our part, and we'll, if you're somebody out there that has that in mind, and you want to be, a perfect fit, you think you can be a perfect fit, you like the music that we like and stuff that mainly we like. It can be a few things that are different. We can, if there's ways to compromise, we'll find them. But it just depends upon who it is. And it may be another one from Hawaii. Like I said, my wife's not the only one I've met from there. Connie treated me pretty well. Did it work out? No. But out of all the things that have come from there, my wife and Connie's the two best that's come from there. And from a place like that. But I just do not and cannot endorse people going to them places. It's just not my belief. It's not mine. I wouldn't want to go to them places if I could help. And I understand. No, I wasn't with my wife for a long time ago, so there's things there. But she don't beat me over the head with it. We just talk about things, and we can do what the crack work it. Just leave it alone and move on. Move on to something else. That's what it would take. If I said, hey, if I told you good advice, take it. Best thing for you to do is take it. And if you like it, you'll like me. You like the way I joke when I sarcastically joke about something, or when I think something's funny, my wife thinks something's funny, she'll laugh. She reminds me a lot of me. And that's why me and her can get along. That's why even when we have a disagreement, that we can come to some kind of compromise that I can't do for anybody else. Whether you're a crack whore or not. But that's why it's easy. And even though that there's things out there on paper, there's people that you can call, hotlines you can call, and all this stuff, and TV shows you can go on. Why do it? Why not will yourself enough to do it? Why not listen to something, do something, go do something with yourself? But yeah, I can't preach this enough, and I mean, sometimes she'll come home and, man, we had a good church service tonight. Yeah, and I say, yeah, and when she usually tells me about what they was talking about, it's stuff I talk about on these videos. But does that mean every time that somebody's going to listen to me? You know, because like I said, comments are going to be comments. Some people like it, some people won't. It is what it is. But I know if things would go the way I'd want them to go, and only one person, you don't have to be two, three. But like I said, if you had something, then okay. We'll take our time with it, but we'd like to get to know you first. And then when we felt comfortable with you and knowing everything there is to know, which, like I said, it could range for a couple of hours, it could range a couple of days off and on, it might need to be a week, just so you kind of get used to your surroundings and we get used to our surroundings and stuff. And don't mean we won't do things we said earlier in the video. It's just I don't want to put myself or my wife around somebody who don't want to be messed with or who don't want to be done anything with. I'd much rather not do that because it does make me miserable and it makes her kind of miserable at times, and they just kind of they aren't a fit, you know. So like I said, I don't know how everybody else's circle does or how anybody else does, but I know if you're that person or was that person, you'd know the difference between what we've put up with and what if you were that person and you let us be who we want to be, it would be so easy to for you to say, well, I don't understand why everybody's giving them such a hard time. You know, I don't know either. That's what I'm saying. If you're that person, you'd be wondering, well, why in the world have y'all had so much hard time? Because you can't get everybody on the same page. They're on one side, and we're on another. My wife tried to play peacemaker this fucking crack whore last time, but she couldn't even do it. And I tried. I just don't have time. Like I said, sometimes I have time to sit there. If I find some way to get in there, I will. But it's no, I'm talking about the one we talking about. No, it ain't gonna be another. Ain't gonna be a last night or not or any night. But no, it's just I'm saying my wife tried to play peace with the one we used to have over here, and it is hard to do when you're like you want to do so much. And like I said, the door would have been so easy, and it would have been so much better if, if things weren't the way they were. Some things in other people's lives are hard to explain, from the smallest to the biggest. We don't know. So again, we just have to know what feels right to us, and if it feels right to that person, and if it's something they really truly want, they'll let you know. They won't fake your smile. They won't fake their stuff. They'll be like I said. They'll be asking questions. Well, why are these people doing that? I don't understand. You know, and we just wouldn't have an answer for you except for we don't understand either. Basically, because we're easy to get along with. It's just you gotta be you gotta be you. And I feel and I feel like a lot of these people that comes up to my wife just aren't themselves. They're pretending to be someone they're not. And because they'll do one thing, like I said, they'll do one thing for their mamas and their daddies and their brothers and sisters and so on. And they might even go so far as to say, well, I met these people before y'all, and I met them in school, and I blah, blah, blah. Well, my wife can't help that. Just like when she brought up some of her people, her friends and her things, and her girlfriends and things that she used to have. She didn't exactly say she wanted them either, but certain situations came up, and then she thought, well, you know what the hell, keep peace. I'll try it. What she told me. So did they all work out? No. And for one thing, she couldn't bring anything with her, so they probably wasn't gonna work anyway. You know? And they didn't have cars. They didn't have jobs then. I spoke to one person's brother and got that one person back on track. Now is it, and I guess you could say that's what I'm good at. I'm good at getting people to straighten up, even if it is having to, play hardball. They won't play hardball, I'll play hardball. I'm good at straightening something out. It may not stick with us, but they're what they done or did do to us to cause us to have to get them to that point. They'll be thanking us later, because they've been several of them that's tried me, like the one we spoke of, and some of them they've gotten straightened out, but we didn't keep them around, but they got their own self straightened out, and so on. So again, it's just like I said, that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at putting smiles on faces. I ain't like a traveling circus. I ain't the Barnum Bailey circus. But I can, for one special person, if you're that special person that me and my wife hopes for, I can do something with that. If you're like I said, we like some things, like go shopping, go out to eat. We like Braves baseball. We like darts. She likes art. She's got her reborn dolls over here. And she likes calm pets. And I even like calm kids. I ain't kid hater, but I don't like them when they're not good, just like most people. So, but I wouldn't mind, like I said, I said this on yesterday's video, I wouldn't mind being a stepdad or my wife being a stepmom to them. But if they ain't no agreements reached and they ain't nothing set in stone, and where it is gone over. And like I said, we tried to throw a raft out there a couple times for something or someone, and we know to get it right, we've got to go and get everything out that's important. We can't be messing around and can't goof around with it. So if you wonder why we ain't just gonna tell you all the good stuff, well, because depending on how much we gotta go in that direction, how much of this stuff we got to do, depending on who it is and what it is, how many of those things affect you or affect our mood, and how we're going to come out and do things. It depends upon that person's how much of that we have to go over. You might make it easy for us, and you might say, "Hey," you just start rolling off and saying, "Yeah, this stuff matches me," and yada yada yada, and you ain't got nothing to worry about. So basically, we might be able to go into the fun stuff. But the last time we tried to have fun, we got burned. So we have to do the important things and get things to where we need them. We got to be on the same page, and got to make sure that everything is good, and that when there is something comes up, we can sit down and feel comfortable about talking about it, like me and my wife do. And if it gets a little out of hand, like I said, sometimes she might want to go for a walk, but she come back, or something. She ain't gonna leave you high and dry, but sometimes, if something came up, she has done that in the past. But I would say if you're as good as gold and you really don't have that problem of communicating with people like me and my wife, then we might not ever cross that bridge. Just depends. So, and we ain't, that hard to, get along with or anything. I mean, and I said I'd work if I had something like Jim Cornette where I could be my own boss, you know. But I just don't trust other people over me, and my wife really don't now. So that's why we don't work. We're on SSI and food stamps, so we have a pay pays our bills. So it's kind of one of them all in one kind of things, kind of videos. Kind of tells everything there is to know about me and my wife. There isn't a whole lot. So, and she's been on many of my videos and stuff. So you see what she looks like. Like I said, we've got several of these profiles. I've got Instagram and our Gmail. We've got two Gmails. We got Tigger 10423 at gmail.com, and then we got another one. We got Layman Jessica 55 at gmail.com, but it depends on which. The reason for that is because there's this computer. You can go up, click on one thing, and it'll take you to one certain address, and another one. The other one I don't have a picture on. It's the second one. It just says married couple. I don't know. It's weird, but the Tigger one is the main one that I check. So, and the one I flew with because it's got our picture on it. It's got her name on it, but it's got me and her. It's one of our old pictures. But no, we've got a few profiles out there. One on Instagram, got a Twitter. We've got, it's either got mine or her on it. It's either Jessica or Derek. I don't know which. I've got one on Juicy Date with me on it. Derek. So it'll be Derek, Derrick, or Jessica. So everybody knows how to spell Jessica, but my name you can spell it like 7 or 8 different ways. Okay, sweetheart. Oh, what? You want me to check on it here in a little bit? Oh, okay. But anyway, my wife, she said she's going to go for a walk. But I've pretty much put everything out here. But we're on several different sites. I was trying to think. The Juicy Date, I get a lot of people texting. It's kind of like an adult themed site. I was trying everything. But Instagram, I check it. Twitter, I check it. If you just happen to be a famous person and you felt led, and you saw this video, and you wanted something, okay. But anyway, I don't know very many famous people or anything. But anyway, I'm probably going to get off here tonight. The Braves play at starting at 9:30 tonight, and so we're on Bally Sports, channel 37. So we'll be watching it tonight. I might watch SmackDown at 8 o'clock. Depends on how I feel. But anyway, I just thought I'd come out here. Kind of had some more of this on my heart, and I do one of these every once in a while. So anyway, if there's somebody out there, holler at us.